Good morning, and I want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and Merry Christmas. I want to discuss a topic with you of great importance to me and to many people who are out there. This topic is about overcoming personal mistakes, personal failures. We've all made many mistakes in our lives. I've made some tremendous boo boos, to say the least, in my own life. And oftentimes we become trapped in that place, in that moment in time, and we can become defined by a specific incident that has occurred in our lives. And oftentimes people will judge us, judge you, judge me, judge your friends, based upon those mistakes. And so I felt that this was a very important topic to tackle, to discuss with you guys in the limited time that I have. The reason being that if you are not careful, you will never escape the scarlet letter that is your past, or that has imprisoned you in the life that you may find yourself trapped in at this very moment. I was raised, a little bit of history about my own personal story. I was raised in the church from being a baby. I was a church baby, and I went through life coming up in a family that was very, I guess you could say, very moral, very spiritual. We believed in God, making the right choices, the right decisions. We believed in taking personal responsibility for your actions. That's how I was raised. And in spite of all of that, I found that I went down the road of personal destruction and became involved in things that were not in my best interest, particularly once I got into the latter stages of high school and graduated from high school. I became involved in a very destructive lifestyle. A lot of partying, womanizing, you name it. And it just was not healthy at all. And as I went down this road, I found I was making a series of mistakes that were truthfully could have been crippling to me in my life, completely crippling. I became involved in relationships that were not healthy for me. Invited individuals into my life that were destructive. I was not playing the role as a leader, but rather was following the trends, following what was popular. And so during the course of all of this, I turned my back in many ways on God and on my faith and on the things that were important to me. Loved my family, cherished my family, cherished my loved ones. But again, had turned my back on the things that were very important to me. And thus, I began to implode and self-destruct and made decisions that were terrifyingly tragic in my own life. And I don't have to get into all the details about everything that happened in my life, but let's just say that some of those decisions put me in places that I did not want to be in or need to be in. And there was an incident that took place in my life that for a long time I beat myself up over it. I was very angry at myself. No one could be more angry than I was at myself. No one could punish me more than I could punish myself, because I felt as if I was above that. I was above making mistakes. Or I should say that sort of mistake. You look at other people and say, what, I've made mistakes in my life, but I didn't make that mistake. And I was one of those people. I didn't make that mistake. I didn't go that far. I didn't go down the path that they went down. I was able to stop myself from going there. When I had my own incident that took me there. And for years, I beat myself up over it. And it was, truthfully, it was crippling to me emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. I was locked in a moment in time that I could not escape. I could only go so far in life. My dreams could only be so big. My aspirations could only be so wide. I could not see beyond the mistake that was in front of me because everything became filtered through that. My lifestyle changed. My associations changed. My friendships changed. Everything in my life changed. The people I used to hang with, I didn't hang with anymore. And it wasn't just because I had come to my senses and made the decision to do that. A lot of that was forced upon me because when you find yourself at the lowest point in your life, many people will leave you. They will abandon you. They will turn their backs on you. And so I found myself there, wondering who I was, questioning my existence, questioning my purpose in life, my purpose for being. So I was trapped in this place of personal disappointment, personal failure, self-destruction. I looked around and I was beating myself up left and right, so disappointed in myself, so very disappointed in myself. And for years I buried myself underneath that guilt and disappointment and the pain and neglect. And I pushed many people away. People who were important to me, I would push them away. I didn't want people to get close to me. I wouldn't allow them to come but so far into my life. Career was basically non-existent. Was kind of floating around. Couldn't really commit to anything large scale, anything that really meant anything. Floundering relationships. And many of you, I'm sure, have experienced those same things. I don't know what your incident has been. Maybe it put you in jail. Maybe it cost you a job, cost you a relationship, cost you friendships, cost you opportunities in life. And maybe you find yourself buried underneath the guilt, the disappointment. You find that you're self-destructing from the emotional overflow of negativity. You find that people are judging you and they only see you for the mistake you made, not for who you are or who you could become. And I'm here to encourage you and to inspire you to not give up. Hold fast. The first thing you need to do is you need to forgive yourself. This was probably the most difficult thing that I had to process. Sure, I could get on my knees and pray, and God, please forgive me. I could go to the person or the people and say, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did what I did. I was angry. I was hurt. I was disappointed. I never dealt with some issues in my past. And so it was all of these different things that were going on within me. And I could do that. But in the end of the day, I still had to forgive myself. That was the most important part of it all. Being raised in a church, we used to hear a song, Take It to the Lord in prayer and everything. And that's wonderful, and that's what you should do. But at the end of the day, you still have to forgive yourself. You can spend all the time in meditation you want. You have to forgive yourself. You can cover it up and mask it with drinking and partying and whatever else you want to do. But in the end, you have to forgive yourself. It was not until I forgave myself that things started happening. Because once I was able to forgive myself, the cloud, the guilt began to lift off of me. And I was able to do things. See, because when that guilt is pressing down on you, when it's compressing you, when it is crushing your spirit, you will find that you won't take risks. You won't step out. You won't expose yourself the way that you should. And you find that your life is a perpetual hamster wheel run, constantly going in the same circle over and over and over again, never accomplishing anything, never achieving anything, never receiving anything of any real worth and value in your life. I had to come to that place. When I forgave myself, things started happening. I was able to take risks. I didn't mind telling the story of how I got to the position I was in. Because the truth is, I was embarrassed. I was one of those people who say, I at least I didn't go that far. Those other people over there, their sin was always greater, or their mistake was always greater, or they had always fallen further than I could ever possibly fall, until I fell, until I went there, until I slipped up, struck out, stepped into a place where I didn't know who I even was anymore, questioned my own sense of worth, my own sense of value, my own sense of being, my purpose, my destiny. I questioned all those things. And so, once I was able to forgive myself, things started popping. They started popping. Now, that doesn't mean that suddenly the sky is going to open up, angels are going to fall from heaven, and your every desire is just going to pop out of nowhere mystically. It means that when you begin to value yourself, when you forgive yourself, you will value yourself. And from there, you will begin to do things. You will begin to step in areas. Your character and your integrity will shine through. It will no longer be about what you did in the past. Because all the past things are gone. They're dead. You become a new creation, a new creature, a new being. Forgiveness is so powerful. It's very difficult to forgive other people, but what's even more difficult is to forgive yourself. So I thought this was a very important topic to discuss. I can't get into all the details on this broadcast or get any deeper or real depth. But I wanted to lay that nugget out there because we are in this holiday season, and there are so many people out there who are in this perpetual state of not forgiving themselves because of things that have happened in the past, and they're beating themselves up every day over it. And again, like I said, it may have been that you may have gone to jail, you may have lost your job, you may have lost your temper, you may have struck out in a way or behaved in a way that was inappropriate, that was embarrassing to yourself, your family members, and everyone around you. I don't care what it may have been. You may have done something that you may find absolutely reprehensible, demeaning to other people, hurtful, devaluing. You may have, I don't care what it is, I'm here to declare that it is not over for you. And in the time when you take that opportunity to forgive yourself, you will begin to declare that it's not over for you. That during this holiday season, what we celebrate when we talk about the birth of Christ, the real reason for the season is that he came that we would find life, an abundant life. But you can only have that abundant life when you begin to forgive yourself of your past, your failures, your disappointments, the things that embarrass you, the things you wouldn't want your mother to know about. You have to learn to forgive yourself. I am far from where I want to be, but I am so much further from where I was, which makes me a lot closer to where I need to be. That's what's important to remember. So while everyone's out partying and celebrating and whatnot, get up off the couch. Stop beating yourself up. Get out from behind the computer screen. Stop hiding wherever you are hiding. Stop hiding behind the alcohol. Stop hiding behind the women or the men or the self-loathing, the abuse. Whatever it is that you're doing, stop hiding behind whatever it is that is hindering you from becoming what you need to be, what you've been designed to be, what you've been called to be. Stop hiding behind all of those things and step into your greatness, your potential, all the possibilities that there are in life. I see everything as being possible. I don't see any limits. Sure, there will be moments when you question and say, you know what, man, I messed up way back when. Gosh, people are going to look at me and they're going to judge me for what I did, what the mistake I made. All I can say is that is their loss. I have found it is my character and it is my integrity, it is my focus, it is my commitment, it's my work ethic that has gotten me to where I am and has taken me to where I am going. It is those things that have opened doors for me that many people have looked and said, how is this possible? I've done all of these things and I never achieved that. I've done all the, I have all this, I've had tons of people around me. I've never achieved what he's been able to achieve or whatever. And it's because I learned to forgive myself, honor who I was created to be, understand that the past is the past. You can't go back and change anything that you messed up. Anybody that you hurt, you can't change that. You go back, you apologize, you grow, you move on. Any mistakes that you made, you can't change that. You can erase the record of your past. But what you can do is create a record for the future. You can do that. You can do that. Believe in yourself, believe in God, believe that all things are possible. Let go of the hurt, let go of the pain, let go of the disappointment. I implore you to do those things, and I encourage you to do them quickly so that you don't continue to fall further and further into the spiral of disappointment and hurt and self-loathing. Trust me, if I could do it, someday I'm going to get into more details about my story and everything else. And once you do those things, I'm telling you, doors will open that will absolutely amaze you. They will amaze you. It will surprise you. I want to thank you for joining me on this broadcast. My name is Joseph Woodley, and I have forgiven myself. And I want you to forgive yourself too. I want you to achieve all the things that God has created you to achieve. I want you to be all the things that you were created to be. I want you to go heights that you never dreamed before. I want you to see the world as you have never seen it before. It is possible. All things are possible. If you'd like me to speak at your group or your organization, please feel free to contact me at Mr. Woodley, that's spelled a long way, MisterWoodley @gmail.com. I am excited about the future, and I hope that you're excited about it as well. Let's make this thing happen. Let go of the past. Let go of the hurt. Let go of the disappointments. God has a plan for your life, and you can achieve it if you are willing to receive it. And that receiving process starts with you being willing to forgive yourself. Overcome your personal failures. Overcome your personal disappointments. God bless you. Have a wonderful, Merry Christmas.